Vladimir sat and gazed pensively over the rail of the Emma Maersk as his ponderous journey entered its final minutes. His departure from Miami had been as disconcerting as much of the time he'd spent there. Certainly, it had been lucrative enough, but the complex and often contradictory nature of this wizened old traveler had meant that he'd never fully integrated into the American dream. A dream which he now scoffed at as it crumbled to dust around the feet of his adopted countrymen. Despite having thrust himself like a rolled-up dollar bill into the snowy heart of capitalism, he had, of late, found himself pining for the once familiar embrace of the party machine. His youth in the old country had been turbulent at times, but nevertheless, old habits die hard. Now, as the world rounded on his motherland, he felt compelled to return to its shores, to join the ranks of his former comrades and defend her honor. Cynics pointed to the seizure of his US assets as the moment where his rekindled nationalist zeal really took hold. But Vladimir knew that this was merely the forked tongue of Western morality, spitting its venom through the fangs of the mainstream media. If anything, swapping the extravagance of his super yacht for the honest frugality of his cabin on the Emma Maersk was a welcome change of pace. He'd become fat, as his dear Olga once had. He could see that now. Though his return was unexpected, he was determined it should be pecunious. He was grateful that the iron law of oligarchy had cemented his place among the guiding hands of a strong and unified nation. He must now ensure that his hand specifically came to rest closest to her nurturing teat, so that she could be milked dry, for the good of the people, of course. The native proletariat could be more or less relied upon to come to heel. They appreciated that the party was working in their best interests. A carefully guided education system had nurtured a sense of grateful resignation in the population. Internationally, however, things were more delicately balanced. He knew his standing needed to be improved, but now that other countries had caught up in the bot race, social media was far less easy to predictably manipulate. What had once been a friendly pen of online sheep now looked increasingly like a dingy battery farm full of neurotic underfed hens. For a while he'd floundered, unsure of how to go about endearing himself to the mob, until a chance meeting with a Middle Eastern business associate led him to the idea of sport, specifically football, the common denominator of the common people. Of course, this was hardly a new idea. Many comrades before him had tried, with varying success, to launder the smell of borscht from their rubles through the Premier League. But Vladimir had always regarded the top tier of the beautiful game as a trifle vulgar. His target should be more left field, and his takeover more clandestine, so as to fully ingratiate him with the locals. He was also conscious of the vast cost and considerable scrutiny associated with ownership of an English club. As a result, he had been forced to cast his net further afield. Scotland had always intrigued him. The harsh climate and even harsher wind reminded him of home. The people were simple, and as far as could be ascertained, relatively compliant. Although communication had at times been challenging, so who could really tell? It mattered little anyway. Their devotion to their respective teams ran deeper than any suspicions they might have over a wealthy foreign investor, no matter how shady his past. He had eventually landed on Hamilton Academical. Principally, his choice had been based on the club's proximity to an international airport. However, he liked the romantic nature of the name and hoped it reflected a general leaning towards learning and self-improvement within the fan base. He was to be disappointed. Though the situation was perhaps not ideal, the wheels were in motion. From this point on, he could begin to plot his rebirth from disgrace and exile to international acceptance through the inexorable march of Scottish League One football. Now there was just a small matter of his homecoming. He suspected his arrival in Novorossiysk might create ripples. These would need to be contained before they became waves capable of sweeping away all his hard work before them. Hastily imbibing a fortifying slug of comrade vodka, he strode forth onto the jetty. His head heavy with thoughts of those whose backs had borne him on his life's journey back to this place. Vladirovsky, Christos, Sergei, even dear Dmitri. They would likely never know the part they had played.